Today's episode is brought to you by Mia Plastic Surgery. At Mia Plastic Surgery, they believe in enhancing your natural and inherent beauty while helping you to achieve the look and confidence that you deserve. They also employ a number of minimally invasive services to address your concerns and meet your goals. They specialize in a variety of medical procedures of the face, breast, body, and intimate areas. Dr. Fee Nguyen, known as the Pageant Doc, is the official aesthetic sponsor for Miss USA, Miss Texas, and Miss Houston. For more information, please visit allaboutmia.com. Welcome back, guys, to another installment episode. I don't know what I'm calling these things of The Dome Show. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with somebody that I've recently met. Moved here a couple years ago for a cool gig and recently discovered that she's going to make this home. She's firmly planted her roots here. And we're going to talk to her about her path to getting to Houston, what she's been up to, and what she has planned for the future. So introducing Carrigan Chauvin. Did I say that correctly?
Chauvin, yes. Happy to be here.
Via Louisiana, and the city is called?
Chauvin.
So
yeah,
like,
I feel like I should always preface no, I don't own the town. My family doesn't own the town. But I do think there's a connection down the line.
I mean, did you ever look into that?
A little bit. So I'm from a little bayou town, South Louisiana, an hour and a half south of New Orleans. If you can believe that there's life south of I-10 in Louisiana, there is.
There is.
It's
yeah.
minimal, but it's there. And it's a small fishing town. So back in the day, there were boats that we used to travel down our bayous, our waterways to get to the Gulf of Mexico. And there were these two brothers, Chauvin brothers. They had their boats that would go down there, but there was no place to really stop or to repair their ships, to grab food, water, anything like that on their trip down to the Gulf from the rivers and the bayous that they took to get there. So in Chauvin, they put this little hardware store out in the bayou. It's right across the bayou from where I was born and raised, called the Chauvin Brothers. And that hardware store was built for that reason back in the day, and it's still there to this day. So I think that the Chauvin brothers are like my uncles. Long.
I mean, they got to be, right?
I mean, who else would I be?
You're the only Chauvin
to?
I've ever met in my life.
Well, I wish I could say the same, but I know a lot of Chauvins.
Yeah.
Not all of them are as great as I.
It's always brothers that find towns, because like here in Houston, it was the Allen brothers.
Oh, wow.
That, first descended on our banks of the bayou and created Houston.
So is there anything named... Oh,
Allen's Landing.
Allen Parkway.
Allen Parkway. Yeah, no, Allen is all over the way, all over the city.
Yeah. Allen's Landing. Is that the one in downtown?
Yes, it's in downtown.
Buffalo and White Oak meet, correct? The two bayous connect right there.
Oh my God, you probably know more about that than I do.
I actually know the whole story now that I'm thinking about it.
I mean, it's not like you're in news or anything, right?
I was live out there plenty of times.
So yeah, I think, but I know the spot. I just don't know if that's where bayous meet or anything. I just kind of know. I physically know where it is. So if I were to see it, like, that's Allen's Landing. Funnily enough, it's kind of funny how things work out, because like we wouldn't have met each other hadn't it been for like a trans occurrence, because I don't even think that you're a member at my gym, no. But you were there for the kickoff party, right? And they were putting together teams for tug of war, and we randomly were put together on the team, and there was like I can't remember who the other person was. But we did really well. I think we made it to the finals and then got beat by like this ogre and two other people. Yeah. But we beat a lot of teams, which was pretty cool. And then that's how I saw you, met you initially, and then it was just like through social media after that. But yeah.
Believe it or not, I'm a lot stronger than what I look.
No, you, I mean, yeah.
I'm a sucker for like unusual ways of working out. So that's the reason I was at that gym to begin with. I'm always looking for new ways that are not like your basic box gym to get a good workout in. So
what kind of workouts do you do then?
Oh man.
What do you consider unusual?
Everything under the sun. I mean, I love CrossFit. That is probably my favorite type of workout. But as I age, I say that in quotes because I am still
oh my God.
relatively young, but my body does not react the same as what it used to in my lower 20s. Now that I have reached
oh my gosh, over that huge hump, yeah.
Now that I've reached 26 years old, I just don't have the same recovery that I used to. But
it only gets worse.
Thanks. A little bit of HIIT every now and then, some good hot yoga. Yeah.
So you just basically do yoga outside?
I
mean, hot yoga, right?
Yeah, in the summertime, yeah.
So, okay, you were born in Louisiana. Now, were you there all up until 3 years ago, or did you go somewhere else? Like, because how did your whole, I mean, at what point did you like figure out that you wanted to be in media?
Oh, geez. So this is a long and windy road. I was in Louisiana years 1 through 18. So all throughout high school. The day that I graduated high school, I was like, I'm getting out of here. So essentially, I figured out that I wanted to do meteorology maybe about a month before graduation. My heart was always there, but I never looked at it as a career choice. I didn't know anyone could make money off of liking the weather.
Yeah.
But more so, it was coastal restoration and the fact that I lived on the water. I lived on the bayou. My dad's a commercial fisherman. So you think about Bubba Gump, the Forrest Gump type of reference.
Yeah.
That's how everyone kind of pictures my family. We have the big boat in my backyard. It's named after my mom. I grew up on the water and I saw our land just kind of disintegrate over the years, hurricane after hurricane. So I had a really close tie with the weather for that. Also very impactful was Hurricane Katrina that came through. Hurricane Andrew that destroyed my mom and dad's home at the time.
Wow.
Before I was even born, but I go back and watch that video. They had a camcorder and they recorded the storm just completely destroying their house. And we still have that footage to this day. So my heart was always there with the weather. But then whenever I graduated, I was like, I love the weather. I love this town, but I can't live here anymore. We have just over 2,000 people on a good day.
Yeah. You want something more.
Exactly. So I also loved soccer at the time. So I went to Western Connecticut State University, played college soccer for 1 year there.
What?
And
Carrigan the jock.
Studied meteorology, still not knowing that I wanted to be on TV.
In Connecticut.
Yes, in Connecticut. Still, again, not knowing that I wanted to be on TV. I just wanted to study meteorology. And then after 1 year of doing very poorly in school, I
don't believe it.
Oh yeah, we all don't do great our freshman year, but moved back to the South, a little closer to home, Mississippi State. Quit playing soccer there. There is whenever I realized that I wanted to do broadcasting meteorology. I wanted to have that communication aspect.
What clicked that made you want to do it then? Because you weren't looking at doing it in Connecticut, but then in Mississippi.
I had the idea of wanting to do it. It just wasn't permanent. But whenever I got to Mississippi State, one of my professors put the bug in my ear that, hey, this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
And I was terrible whenever I first started.
Really?
So bad. I mean, I'm still not great to this day, but whenever I started, I go back and look at those videos and it is cringe. It is cringe.
But that's all part of the growth, right? Like, it's all reps. The more you do it, it's like you get easy. It's easier to do it.
And people have a misconception that we're reading off a teleprompter, that all meteorologists are journalists. That's not the case. My degree is in meteorology. In college, I wasn't taking broadcasting 101. I wasn't taking journalism. I was taking thermodynamics and physics 2 and calculus. And
So you considered a scientist?
my degree is in meteorology. So I have no broadcasting degree.
Yeah.
So I learned how to be a scientist and kind of had to figure out how to talk along the way.
Got it.
And after that, I started working while I was in college. I got the weekend gig at WTOK in Mississippi, Meridian, Mississippi. So my college in Mississippi consisted of Monday through Friday school, Saturday and Sunday work an hour away, staying at a local Holiday Inn Express while I did the evening shifts for the news, and then waking up early the next morning.
So you were like doing that for the entirety of your time in college?
Yes, my last 2 years. My first year, no. My last 2 years, yes. So I gave up football seasons, football games, all that stuff, and just started working.
Hey, but that's what you wanted to do.
It is.
It requires sacrifice.
It was tough. It was tough.
So when people like say, because I get this a lot, and I have a lot of friends in media, and like, oh, it's so easy. You just have to be a pretty face, and you got to just, walk in and you get the job. No, like here it is.
Yeah.
Case in point, you were grinding.
Exactly. And especially in places like Mississippi, like where I went afterwards in Oklahoma, it's Tornado Alley. If you are simply just a pretty face and you're in one of those severe weather markets, you will get called out quickly if you don't know your stuff. So you are up there with the big dogs, people who know their stuff, who have been there a while, people who are highly respected in the industry, and being a young 20-something-year-old girl stepping in.
Yeah.
If I had to prove myself. And some days I feel like it was a lot harder to prove myself. I had to do a lot more to prove myself than what others did.
I would imagine, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but from the outside looking in, like, we're just viewers, right? We don't really understand how it works and the politics of media. But I would imagine that being involved in that industry and in those circles, that it's probably really hard for a woman.
Yes, it's better now. We have a lot more support from each other, but I was the only woman on my team in Mississippi. I was the only woman on my weather team in Tulsa. And I am now the only woman on my team here in Houston, but also we're a team of 2.
Yeah.
So it's a much smaller, much different vibe here in Houston than what I've experienced in the past. But this is my favorite gig where I'm working at now. CW is a great company. We're a very different type of media company. And
Okay. So you graduated from Mississippi State, and then you got the gig in Tulsa. That's where you were. How was that for, like, being thrown into the den of the hyenas?
Oh, geez. I always say that if you want some weather to talk about in your town, just hire me, because it's going to happen. My first day in Meridian, we had a tornado pass through downtown Main Street.
In Mississippi?
In Mississippi.
I didn't even know they had tornadoes in Mississippi.
Are you kidding me? Okay, Omar. Yes.
This is how ignorant I am.
Tons of tornadoes in Mississippi. That's called Dixie Alley. It's becoming the new tornado alley over the years. Tornado Alley is actually shifting a bit further to the east and to the southeast. We're seeing more and more tornadoes there, and less so in where basic Tornado Alley is, Kansas, Oklahoma, and all. But my first day on the job there, I was still in college, still taking like meteorology 101, and I had to cover a tornado my first day on the job, and baptism by fire. There we go. They were like, it's been 40 years since we had a tornado pass through downtown Meridian, and I show up, and there we go.
Lightning rod.
And then
That's what you are.
Yeah, exactly. And then I get to Tulsa, and we had the greatest tornado season on record my first year of working there. I remember I flew in from Mexico. I was on a trip with my boyfriend at the time. We went to Mexico after graduation, and then we both moved to Tulsa together. I flew back early because I had to start working quicker than what he had to, and I had no furniture in the apartment, sleeping in like a pile of blankets in the corner, and woke up to a tornado siren. Hello, time to go to work. And After that, I covered 40 tornadoes in 2 weeks. First 2 weeks in the job. That season, the state of Oklahoma had 400 tornadoes. The busiest May season.
400 tornadoes?
Yeah, the busiest one on
That's
record.
crazy. You mentioned that you were in Tulsa, and did you watch Tulsa King? The
Tiger King?
No, Tulsa King.
Oh, Tulsa King.
It's a show with Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, wait. No, whenever I was there, the whole Tiger King shindig was going down. I don't know Tulsa King, though.
No, it's a brand new show.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what that is.
I watched it. It's actually pretty good. But I wondered if it was like similar to that kind of lifestyle, because they have a lot of Native American implementation into the show and stuff like that. Casinos, things of that nature. So I don't know
casinos were a big deal whenever I was out there.
Yeah, it plays a big role in the show.
We were sponsored by it.
So now you have to watch it.
We were sponsored by a casino in our weather center. So
is that conflict of interest? How does that, what? Oh, I guess not, because like now they have like DraftKings sponsoring everything in the world. So yeah, I guess it's been legalized across the U.S. So, okay, so you're in Tulsa covering over 400 tornadoes in a
like that. I mean, don't quote me on any of these numbers.
No,
it's been a while.
No. But like, when did the Houston pathway open up for you, and like when did that become a reality?
Okay, so this is where I'm going to get a little personal here. I'm like,
you did mention a boyfriend, so
I did.
I don't want to dive into that unless you want to talk about it.
I mean, no. This is the dumb show. So what does dumb stand for again? You were telling me earlier.
Dense and unsatisfactory male behavior. So did he do some dumb things?
Unsatisfactory male behavior. I can't say anything bad about anyone that I've been with in my life to this day. I think they're all great. Brought me to where I am. So
yeah. I'm
going to stay away from the male behavior aspect.
Sure, of course.
But yeah,
that'll change after you date in Houston, I promise. Welcome to Houston.
Yeah, if I start dating in Houston, we'll see at this how things are going now. But we did split up, obviously, because I'm not in Tulsa anymore. I'm not together. I am single here in Houston. But things started going downhill for me in Tulsa. I was having just really bad anxiety. Mental health kind of gets thrown under the rug a lot. It's getting a lot more attention nowadays, which I do love. It's coming a lot more you can talk about it with your coworkers. You can talk about it with the people in your lives, your parents, your friends, your significant other, whatever it may be. But I don't know. It was a lot with the job. I was waking up early. I was going to bed late, sometimes working multiple days at a time. And weather is one of those things that if you're not on the clock, you can't just be like, oh, okay, I'm not working today. You're still glued. You're still dealing with what you saw before. If you covered a storm and people died, like you're still dealing with that trauma the day after.
Yeah.
I was out in the truck kind of chasing these storms too. And if you're looking at a tornado and you just, okay, day's over, I drove home after cutting through the hail core of a storm, you can't just go to bed peacefully after that. So that's whenever my insomnia got really, really bad. I was like actually diagnosed with insomnia this past year. So I'm on medications for it now and I'm able to cope with it. But I wouldn't string together more than 3-4 hours of sleep
now
for months and months and months.
Would you say you just didn't sleep in like gathered together hours, or you'd sleep and then you'd wake up without interruption that amount of time?
I couldn't without interruption. So like it would be like 3-hour increments.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of in that boat.
So some people can operate on that, and I can do that from time to time, but you don't realize what that does over a long period of time. Like, I don't know if you do that on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Okay, well,
I mean, I sleep a good set of hours, but I can't sleep the entire night. Like when I go to sleep at 10, 11, whatever time it is, and I wake up at 5 or 6, whatever time it ends up being, I wake up. That entire time I wake up at least 2 or 3 times.
But what do you do whenever you wake up?
I actually switch where I sleep in. Sometimes I go to my couch and I'll sleep on my couch.
Got it.
And vice versa. Sometimes if I pass out on my couch, then I'll go to my bed. Like actually, it's not just like I wake up and go right back to sleep. Like I wake up and I'm like, I can't go back to sleep. So then I go to my bed or the couch and I try to fall asleep there. And it happens probably twice every night.
Interesting. Well, I would wake up drenched in sweat, like hyperventilating a little bit, like borderline panic attacks, like every night. It was pretty scary to the point where I had no idea what to do anymore. I would wake up multiple times, just be lying on the floor, like chest pains out of control. And it's like I was by myself. I was alone, and it was just so scary. So
did you go see? You saw somebody?
I eventually went and saw someone because I had truly no idea what was happening to me. And looking back now, like I still have no idea. It was like my body was trying to destroy itself. Essentially, I'm not going to get into the complete details of what was happening, but I finally went and got blood work done, and I got my numbers back. And my doctor told me, like, come in the next day whenever they got my numbers. They were like, we have to talk to you.
Yeah.
So my hormonal panel was completely done. They said, like, your testosterone's shot, your estrogen shot, your whatever is done. My cholesterol clocked in at 450. They wanted to put me on statins at 22 years old. And they compared my blood work and my stress levels and all this stuff to someone who just came back from war, like PTSD. So
you're essentially, I mean, you have to have been in fear of your life. You're chasing tornadoes.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like I look back at it and I wasn't doing anything completely out of the norm. I mean, what I did, other people did all the time in my industry.
Yeah.
But it wasn't talked about.
Maybe they don't talk about it.
Women didn't talk about it amongst each other.
Okay.
So being a woman, like, my hormones were out of whack.
Yeah.
I stopped having the capability to reproduce. Let's just say that. I mean, I still struggle with that today. And a lot of people, either they'll have unusual weight gain, unusual weight loss. I had unusual weight loss for no reason whatsoever. Wow. Again, it was my body just destroying itself. And after I went to the doctor, got my numbers back, they told me, you need to be on all these medications or change your lifestyle. And I was like, well, this is the lifestyle that's tied into my job.
Yeah.
And they said, well, from the way things are looking, you either change your job, quit your job, or you're on track to die very soon.
Wow.
They said that my numbers look like someone who is on par to have a stroke.
That's crazy. And you're hearing this in your early 20s.
And if you would look at me, I would have, well, I mean, I don't look that much different now. So look at me now. And that's how I looked about a couple of years ago.
You look very healthy.
Yeah, I was much thinner then too. But I was a young, fit, athletic, smiling. And they said, if we did not know that this chart was tied to you, we would have guessed it would be for a middle-aged man, smoker, heavy drinker, overweight.
Yeah.
That's what my numbers reflected.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
It's better now, right?
It is. It's much, much better.
Good.
But I listened to her. I quit my job.
Okay. So that's huge.
Dream job. I thought I made it. I had the biggest market out of my graduating class in Mississippi State, Tulsa, out of college. That was the market I went to. They were market 50 out of the 200 something in the country.
Wow.
I think I was the highest market, highest paid out of my graduating class to start things off. And I quit that job. Unemployed. Moved back in with my parents. Thankfully, only for a short amount of time, but I truly had no idea what the future held for me at that point. And I was terrified.
Yeah, I would imagine.
So
what did your parents think?
I mean, they were worried about me.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone was worried about me. They just didn't say it to my face. And they didn't have to because I was scared too. And I moved back at home. And somehow, by the grace of God, this job came to me. And I accepted it in the parking lot of like a grocery store as I was unpacking my old apartment in Tulsa one day.
So how did that make you feel? I mean, like third biggest city in America, sixth largest media market. And that must have been like, holy shit, right?
It was like, I thought that I was on top of like the biggest mountain in the world in Tulsa, considering my age and my...
Think again, sucker.
Yeah, so it's like I essentially like jumped off of that cliff and thought I was heading down this dark hole, and then somehow maybe there was like a little sparrow that just like caught me and like brought me to a higher mountain. I don't know. I'm just
a flying dragon.
Yeah. But...
What are those birds from the Lord of the Rings to get to a higher mountain?
Or just a very strong updraft, as one would say in meteorology.
Pun intended. Haha.
But yeah, I still don't know why.
And what year was this?
How or why this happened to me, but this was
2020, right?
2020. Yeah, in the middle of the pandemic. That's another thing that was crazy is that while job security was so uncertain, I just decided to go ahead and quit. You know, everyone was losing their jobs.
Yeah, but you had to think about yourself. Like, this is not just like some random thing. This was, destroying you at the time.
Yeah. But nonetheless, it was 2020 whenever I moved here. I started this gig. They were like, when can you start? I said, tomorrow.
See ya.
Yeah. So I unpacked all my stuff. Everything fit in the back of my car. My bank account had $0 in it at the time. I had to borrow money from my parents, put gas in my car to get here, and then started here from ground zero.
Wow.
And my first day was Christmas Eve on air here.
In 2020?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
And then the whole town froze over about 2 weeks later.
Yeah. In 2020. I remember there was a freeze in 2021.
February, yeah.
I have a crazy story about that.
Oh, so do I.
I'm not going to talk about it, but that freeze actually was the reason I got involved in a relationship that was a year long.
Oh.
That was like pretty significant in terms of the structure of my life. But yeah, had that freeze not happened, I wouldn't have met this person that is a great friend now, but like had a huge seismic shift in my life. Yeah, impact wise. Yeah. So thank you, Freeze, for that.
Freeze.
Okay, so new city, like not even just a new city, like the third biggest city.
Yeah, bigger than anything I've ever seen in my life.
How was that for you?
Whenever I first drove in, I was sobbing. So I drove...
Like sobbing happy or sobbing
happy
like...
tears. Yeah. So whenever I accepted the job, I was on my way to grab the last couple of items in my apartment in Tulsa.
And you'd never been to Houston before?
No.
So you had no idea how big it was.
No.
People don't realize how big it is.
Yeah, so I was on my way back home and I saw like the sign where it, you know how like the exits on the thing will say like Dallas one way, Houston the other way or something like that. And I was supposed to be taking this one way to go back home to Louisiana. And it was the middle of the night. And last minute, I was like, nope, I'm going now.
Yeah.
So I turned my car and took the exit to Houston instead. And
you saw it at night.
It was a 3-day time frame where I did not sleep. I drove from Louisiana to Tulsa, from Tulsa to Houston, apartment shopped, got my apartment and moved into my apartment, and then I slept.
Wow.
So whenever I accepted that job, I was on a mission. I was
hell yeah.
So I was crying whenever I first came to town. One, just out of pure sleep deprivation.
Yeah, no, you were delirious.
Psychosis.
Yeah.
And then two, I was just like, finally, like something is looking up for me.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. And like, not only is like Houston huge in terms of like size wise from Tulsa and Mississippi, even Connecticut, all that stuff, but like the culture, so different.
These people are amazing.
Now I traveled all over, so like I've seen how people.
It's special.
Yeah, it's definitely something different. It's like a cult. Like we're like a part of a cult.
That's just like Houston.
We talk differently. We eat differently.
So much swag in this town.
It's crazy.
The pride is.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
So good.
Okay,
good.
So all right, new girl in town. You put it on the questionnaire that you kind of wanted to talk a little bit about struggles of dating. Right?
Oh yeah.
You know, you said struggles of dating life for a young woman in a new city. How's that been? Like, because you had a relationship in Tulsa, obviously that expired, and now you're in this new city. Were you looking to date? Were you looking to, you know, potentially, you know, or have you just been so focused on work, new city, integration, all that stuff?
At first, whenever I moved here and like got myself somewhat settled, I was ready.
Yeah.
I wanted to date everyone. I wanted to do everything, see everything, taste everything. I just wanted to submerge myself into everything that Houston had to offer. So what does a 20-something-year-old girl do at that point?
Starts dating.
Downloads every single dating app under the
Oh, God. Okay. This is the dumb part. Here, we're getting into it. So, all right, let's go there.
Well,
How did that work? Because I've never been on a dating app ever.
Really? I don't know.
I mean, come on. Do you think that I need help meeting women? Part of the reason the dumb show exists is because I've dated so much and all the stupid shit that I've done in relationships. So, okay, how did that work out?
So I don't even really know how to date. I feel like I've always been in some sort of relationship.
That's the thing. Let me stop you right there. You don't even have to know how to date. You just got to be yourself, and then you'll find your person that will be themselves with you.
I think
and it's
I'm too much myself, though.
Yeah, but that's what somebody will find endearing. Trust me. There's somebody out there.
I go to some events and I'm purely just like a pig in lipstick. Well, not necessarily a pig, but you get the
you're
thing.
Totally a pig in lipstick.
Like
come on.
Like stray kitten in lipstick.
Okay, so let's. What happened? The dating apps. Surely there were some suitors there.
I mean, I can say that I haven't had a bad experience.
Oh, come on.
On the dates, though. They
None?
all were good.
But you're still single.
I am. So they all were good. They all were pleasant experiences, but none of them enough to like hook me and make me want to go back, you know?
Gotcha.
It was all like 1 or 2 meetups here and there, and then I'm like, wow, that's a really cool person. I value them.
No click.
I value them as a person. I think they're great
that is
for
such a
someone
stinger.
else.
Did you tell them these things? Did you? They probably kill themselves.
Actually, some of them I did tell. But like I think they're good for other people, just not for me.
The worst thing a guy can hear is like, "You're such a nice guy." I'm like, it gives me a heart attack just hearing other people.
Yeah.
Being told that. Do you think that because you're a figurehead in media that people were reaching out to you because of that and not because you were who you were?
Oh, I really don't think so.
Because I know some people that
I feel like my age group could care less.
Probably so. But
yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to be like, hey, my girlfriend's, in the news.
I did have one that was only after me for like arm candy purposes. But that's just the one. And I called him out on that real quick.
Yeah. I would imagine that probably if you were consistently dating, that would
Yeah.
the case more often than you think.
I'm a little harsh whenever it comes to dating.
So what happened? Like, because you said you're not really looking right now.
So now yeah.
So they just get put off by the whole dating scene, and it was like,
I just kind of lost hope for a while and just was like, you know what? I'm going to focus on me. And I swear, once I did that, it was like win after win after win in my life.
Good.
And I just keep on seeing these good things happen. And I'm like, maybe that's what I just need to do is focus on me right now.
it's working well because like I saw in your post, and I don't know how long ago it was, but like I didn't really know you. Like we did the tug of war thing, but then like I followed you on social media, so I didn't really see much of what was going on in your life. But I saw the post where you have like the Texas flag and you're at Post HTX, and it just seemed like such a big load came off your back when you made that post because it was like, this is where I want to be. I've extended my contract.
Exactly.
I'm happy. All cylinders are click. You know, like all the things, and it just you could tell from the post and the pictures. No pun intended. Post HTX.
Oh, the post, yeah.
That you were happy, and it seemed like you hadn't been certain of certain things in a while, and this was like, I know now what I want to do and where I want to be.
Yes. Whenever I first moved to Houston, I knew right away that it was a special place. But within television news, you only have contracts for a couple years at a time. And whenever your contract expires, you either move somewhere else, find a new job, or like, I don't know. It's like your fate is in someone else's hands.
Seriously.
So my contract was expiring this upcoming December, Christmas Eve, whenever I started. So they renewed it early, which was kind of big because stations don't normally do that. But our traffic anchor left our station here at CW. So they built this new hybrid role for me where I cover traffic, I fill in for weather, I go live whenever I want to go live, and I bring a lifestyle element to the show as well. So I'm getting to do all of these amazing things and getting to
I want to see your lifestyle segments.
I get to
I don't watch the news at all, so like it's not even like I'm just so oblivious to what's even happening at all.
Because I'm such a sucker for like community events and just like fundraising and bringing awareness to things. So I love how I get to focus on that. But I'm totally getting distracted from the original question at hand.
I forgot what it was.
Okay, yes, you mentioned the post.
Yes.
That's what it was. Yes, that was a big step for me. I did feel like I got a little personal with that post. And I think a lot of people reacted the way they did react to that because they knew that I had gone through some hardships and that it maybe has looked like I was not that happy in the past. So I knew whenever I came here that I wanted to plant roots. I was tired of changing zip codes. I mean, I've lived all over and now I'm only in my mid-20s. And to gain any type of respect in a town in TV, I feel like you have to be here for a while. If you ask people, hey,
That's in anything though, really.
Because
you put on here that you have this complex that you feel like you're running behind because you're younger than your coworkers and some of your friends. And that's just the environment that you're in, right? So that's a testament to you more than I feel like you should be facing uphill. They're more like seeing you on their level, right? And that's not that they're better than you, but like it's a respect thing, right?
Yeah.
Because you have tenured members like Sharon is been in the game forever.
Yeah.
As long as I've known news in Houston, she's been in the game, right?
Yeah.
And she's so sweet. But like, look at yourself in that regard because I see it as them having a respect and level of, fondness for you that can be very lacking in a lot of other industries, that people do look down on them and like segregate themselves from people that are tenured and not tenured or male and female or whatever, right? People build barriers in every industry, and for them to open up and extend you, they definitely see you in that way. I mean, they got to, right?
Yeah. And
I hope that you know that.
I have to remind myself every now and then. I do kind of get caught in the weeds, caught in my own thoughts.
We're one of the worst enemies. All of us are.
Exactly. I have to remember that. And my coworkers, they do remind me of that. So they're so good. They truly are. I love everyone who I work with. Yeah, no bad things to say about them.
No, they're great. And then you mentioned also some of the biggest challenges you're facing. It's not that the people that don't necessarily take you seriously, that you just feel that sometimes it requires a little bit more effort on your end to gain that trust.
That says more about me than what it does about them.
Yeah.
So that's this confidence thing that I
Is
need to
that
work on.
getting better? Because I heard recently that you walked in this fashion show and you kind of stole the show.
So, oh boy. Okay, so where is this question going? Can we repeat the question? Because there's a lot to unpack.
I want you to, because you say a lot of people don't take you seriously is what you say.
Okay, yes.
And you're struggling with that. And is that getting better?
I think so. And I think it's getting better because of myself and my own views of myself. So the more I respect myself, I think that is going to come across as confidence that is respected by others. And I think that over the course of the past 2 weeks, I've gained a significant amount of confidence with the fashion show that you asked me to be in.
Yeah. You're very model-esque looking, right? Physically. So I don't really know what that means attribute-wise, because like now a model can be anybody. But they asked me to put together this fashion show for the Ferrari Club members, and I always try to include real women. And I hate using the term real, because it's like, what is a real woman? A real woman's anybody. A real person is anybody, any size, any demographic, whatever. And so I reached out to you a while back, kind of, I think alluding to that before. And then here was a show and I was like, hey, would you want to be in it? And you ate it up. You were like natural, killed it. Everybody's like, oh, who's that girl? And I think that they want you to come back and MC. So like, that definitely is indicative of you as a person, not even just, appearance wise, but character wise, because there was a lot of beautiful women there that day. But yeah, you were natural.
I really appreciate it. Yeah, I remember getting there and just meeting up with you in the parking lot, and just some other the women that were there. I was just like, okay, I get why they're here. Like they're models, but why am I here? I'm just a scientist. I'm just a meteorologist. So it was definitely out of my comfort zone, but I love being out of my comfort zone.
And you looked so different. You looked so, because I've seen you I've seen your clips from your stories on social media and stuff, and, you in front of me now, but at the show, you looked completely different. And it was you, but it was like a different version of you, I guess.
Yeah, I whenever I looked back at the pictures from this past weekend, I was like,
we're going to throw some of those up there so people can see them.
Excuse me, who is this woman? And what has she done with Carrigan?
And we're going to do it again, because you're like, I like this. I want to do it again.
Yeah, it's a field that I want to dabble in for sure moving forward.
I wish you would have been able to see Runway Houston, because it was massive. It was, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And I did 2 at Post HTX, and Philip the X-Wing and Aziz Atrium, full of people. Right?
And it makes me respect these women so much more. I've always been a big advocate, women supporting women in the past. But like I mentioned, I was a jock in high school. I was a jock in college. And
you're still into fitness.
Yeah, so exactly. And it's still that, what do I do with my free time? I go to the gym.
Not that I'm checking you out, but in some of your posts, your leg muscles are insane, right?
Whenever we were in the dressing room, one of the designers was like, it should be a crime to cover up those legs. And they took me out of a long dress and put me in that short thing.
That had to have been Israel to say that. Oh my God.
But yeah, so growing up, if you were to ask me to be in a fashion show or anything like that, or to be in the room with those in quotes, types of girls, pageant girls, or runway girls, I would have scoffed probably. But now, after talking with them, hanging out with them, they're so neat.
Yeah, they're so different, and they're all different.
Yeah, we're all women. We all have the same parts. We all have the same men problems. We're all the same. We all just want to be our most. We all just want to be our most beautiful selves, and at the end of the day, do a little bit of good in the world. No one's truly evil. Believe it or not, no matter what you may think about some women, I don't think so. But even with Miss Universe, she's visited the station plenty of times. Arbany Gabriel,
I love her.
So Sharon has been a good mentor to her throughout the years, and even someone of that level, to see how down to earth she is, it is
Yeah.
has opened up my eyes so much. It's like I think I'm grown, I think I'm mature, and then it's like I completely get humbled every single day.
When she was first starting to model, a long time ago, I used to be a photographer back in the day, and I shot a lot of models, and Arbany was starting in modeling, and my studio was in my house. And so like she came and we shot. I remember her being so nervous. She was like literally trembling, and I'm shooting her and I'm thinking, photos are great, right? And it's like fast forward years, and it's like, holy shit, she's Miss Universe now. Like Miss Universe was literally in my house. And I photographed her. I did a post when she won. I showed the picture I took of her from that photo shoot. I was like so proud of her. And she was supposed to come back in town and do some things, and it's like just seeing her. And she's so Houston.
Oh yeah.
Like she's an H-Town girl. And I love it. And she's a designer too.
Oh, I follow all of her work, and she is so talented.
So talented. So deserving.
Yeah.
So deserving. So yeah. Okay, so I saw a post. You're doing some kind of charity tournament. It's blondes versus brunettes or something like that.
Yeah, flag football.
Yeah, that's been going on for quite a few years.
I had a story with that this week, but it's been going on in town for a while. It's blondes versus brunettes. It's all for Alzheimer's Association.
Yeah.
So we have our game next weekend at TDECU Stadium at U of H. So, I mean, you can watch the Roughnecks play this weekend, or you can save your time and watch us play next weekend.
I'd rather watch y'all play.
I think a lot of people would rather watch.
So how do we get tickets? So how do people get involved?
They can donate $25 to my page, and that'll get you into the stadium on game day, and that'll also get you free beer at the after party at McIntyre's. Like, win-win.
Done.
But I am on the defensive side of the ball for the second year in a row. Last year I was playing corner, so keeping up there with the wide receivers. And this year I'll probably be mixing in corner, a little bit of rusher. But
did y'all win last year?
Let's not talk about last year's score. Guys. That was a bit of an anomaly. We have more wins than... So I'm actually on Team Brunettes.
Okay.
My blonde is fake as can be.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say anything. I was like, which team are you playing on?
So on game day, we actually all like spray paint our hair, whatever color team that we're on.
Yeah.
So I spray paint all of this brown for game day.
So can somebody be a ginger and play in this?
You can be whatever you want to be.
All right. Nice.
Where was I going? Oh yeah, so we have practice every week, and this past week we had practice at U of H. So our first day practicing on the turf so far this season, and I show up to practice exhausted, a little bit of caffeine in me every evening, and I don't know what it was, if it was the adrenaline coming through my system at the time, or just I was really tired, or my blood sugar was low, my blood pressure was low, but I ran into another girl on the field. We banged knees.
Oh no.
And I stood up. I was all like, oh, that hurt, but I'm okay. I stood up. I take one step and fell down. The pain was so bad. And then I can't even tell you. I don't remember anything after that because I was carried off the field and I passed out.
You passed out from a knee injury.
This was literally Tuesday. This was 2 days ago.
Wow.
A knee injury. Passed out. Cold sweats, white in the face, eyes glazed over, gone.
So, diagnosed. What happened? Nothing?
I woke up a couple minutes later and I told them, like, I have to throw up. They brought me a trash can. I passed out again. And
Carrigan.
Then, like,
what in the world?
I know. Like, we were still trying to get to the bottom of this because I'm like, your body has this mechanism, like fight or flight type of thing.
Yeah.
So it turns out I'm definitely a flight girl. Like, there's no fighting. My body's like, peace.
You took a knee injury and you're like, I'm throwing up.
We're done. And
I'm not picking you to be on my zombie survival team.
Yeah. So yeah, any type of like anxiety driven situation, if there's a lot of people around me, I probably will just check out mentally. So that happened twice. I passed out. And then the next morning when I woke up, I thought I was fine. I took a step again, felt that pain in my knee. And I guess I just have a low pain tolerance, but I was out again the next morning.
Did you go to the doctor?
No.
Probably a steroid shot. You'd be fixed up.
I was fine after that. I can walk just fine now. It was just like a 24-hour knee bug.
Okay.
But I almost had to call out of work because of football practice.
We're getting up on time, but I want to get a few questions out before we wrap this up.
Yeah, go for it.
Biggest media pet peeves for you?
Oh man, this is a tough one.
No. You can't escape this one.
Media pet peeves.
Whether
Okay. Oh, whenever people make something out of nothing, like if it is just rain, it's just rain. If it is like, don't run the severe weather, breaking news, if it's nothing. I hate whenever people from higher up in the news station try to make meteorologists make a weather
more sensationalized.
Whenever you try to make weather the star of the show, whenever it's not, because that will knock down credit for us.
Yeah.
Whenever it's like the boy cry wolf situation.
Of course.
Like, you don't want that false alarm ratio to be higher and higher as like meteorologists and National Weather Service, as other research professionals in the industry are trying to get that false alarm ratio down. It's like the media is trying to push it in the opposite direction. So it's this constant battle between like truth and sensationalism, like you said.
What do you want people to know about you that they probably don't know from your social media or your on-air presence?
So I'm pretty much an open book, both on air and on social media. What they don't know about me, I mean, yeah, I really don't have an answer to this. I put all my stuff out there nowadays just because it's like, if I can tell someone what I'm going through and that helps them out at the end of the day, like, I'm going to do it. I don't hide anything. Yeah. I'm an open book.
What's your typical boy that you're looking for out there? Man.
You have to be funny. You have to be able to make me laugh. I have in the past been...
And here come all the comedians in your inbox.
I have been attracted to people who I don't think are physically attractive just because of their personality and being who I am. I tell them, I'm like, I don't think you're that cute, but I love you because brutally, like that is probably my greatest asset. The biggest downfall is my honesty. It's brutal.
No filter. But that's good. That's actually a good thing that is going to benefit you in the long run more than, fabricating and, fibbing.
But I'm a sucker for like the tall, dark, and handsome type of thing.
I
know, rolls eyes. But...
I roll my eyes at tall guys because I've been, the last 2 serious relationships I was in, the next boyfriend was like significantly taller. So I'm like, I've always had this short guy I've always dated women that were taller than me.
Yeah.
And shorter than me, of course, as well. But yeah.
But you have to be smarter than me.
Tall guys are kryptonite.
I want them to be smarter than I am because I love learning from other people. And you have to be able to make me laugh.
There it is.
That's,
All right, Houston. Men, bachelors, they'll be coming on funny if you're going to court Carrigan.
All right. I want to line up next week now, Omar, of all my bachelors. We can do like a Houston version of The Bachelorette in Paradise.
Let's do it. Sounds like it'll be a hit. Stay off the dating apps. Yeah, track record there is not great for men. Okay, thank you for being on The Dumb Show. I think it's really cool hearing your story, and I'm really glad that Houston was able to land you because you're awesome, and I have no doubt that nothing but great things are heading your way, and we hope to keep you as long as we can.
Perfect.
We're loving it, and just from the little that I've known you and seen how people interact with you, everybody loves you. So thanks for making Houston home now, and hopefully that stays that way for a long time, if not forever.
I hope y'all decide to keep me.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool city, and there's lots of cool things to eat here. But yeah, we're going to throw up your social media on there so people can follow and definitely get involved in the Blondes versus Brunettes, even though we don't know what team you're going to be playing on.
Team Brunettes.
Yeah, but
Nets. You
could go both ways. Okay, guys, this has been another installment of The Dumb Show, and we hope that you guys are following on YouTube. I don't even know what it's on, Spotify and Apple Podcasts and YouTube, and subscribe, all those things. Leave a comment, let us know what topics you guys want us to talk about, and we'll see you guys next time. It's been another show of The Dumb Show. This is Omar Marcos.